something more.
Well, who do you think was scary? Who do you think scariest?
Who's scarier?
For the viewer?
Well, I hope. Well, that's I guess the jury's out on that. But the cat was very fun to play. I don't get to play evil. I mean, the cat's not evil. She's just hungry and manipulative and self-obsessed. But I guess so was Margaret Thatcher. No, I won't say that. It was fun. I've done a couple of animations, and this was certainly the most immersive experience.
Okay, and you're working with the geniuses at Aardman, by the way, the multi-Academy Award-winning Aardman.
Used to be a huge
animations.
fan of Wallace and Gromit,
of course.
and those films. Yeah,
once a fan, always a fan. All right, so let's talk about the plot. So little Robin, she hatches her egg, and Mummy's nowhere to be seen. What happens next?
Well, I guess she falls into a family of mice. She falls into a rubbish dump that is filled with a family of mice, and who raise her, a father and 5 children. She becomes part of the family, and as she grows up, her differences become more apparent. Robin is not a mouse, but as she kind of sets off in her life, she realizes that. One, she really wants to be a really good mouse, but then at the end of the day ends up discovering who she really is. And it's a really lovely animation. I love felt animation, stop motion animation, and the characters are delightful, and the story's a wonderful story of family and celebrating differences and learning to love yourself and embracing those that may have fallen out of the nest, which is a wonderful concept. And it's a lot of fun. Even my teenagers enjoyed it.
I know. And also, you're 20-something little one. That's not so little anymore.
And it's my 20-something little one, yes. But that's less predictable than, or more predictable than the boys. The boys, don't like anything. Really liked it and wanted to see it. But
Aardman just nail everything. But it is a portrayal of one's true nature, and somebody thinking they have to adapt when they don't, and then it's a tale of community, and also gluttony and materialism, because there's the magpie's in there.
Oh my gosh, the magpie! The magpie song is one of the best things that's happened all year.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned it's a musical, by the way. This is a full-on an hour miniature animated musical from the geniuses at Aardman with stellar talent on board as well, like Gillian. But the magpie represents materialism, which is a brilliant take on so much that's wrong.
And Richard E. Grant plays the magpie, and he gets to sing this amazing song that is, I think we'll all be singing it around Christmas time.
Yeah, but that whole thing about it's all about this, it's all about having all this stuff, and then at the
end of the day, you don't need all the stuff.
You don't need any of the stuff.
We don't need the stuff. We just need family. We just need family and friends, and to embrace ourselves and our differences.
Yeah, and then the mice get accused of being sneaky by basically everyone apart from Robin, who thinks she's a mouse, but she isn't. She's still a Robin. It's great that she doesn't. She says, "I'm a really rubbish mouse," because you're a Robin. It's fine. But
it's good.
The mice then get accused of being sneaky. But that's a mouse's job.
That's what mice do. They sneak. Robin really wants to sneak, but she's really bad at sneaking, and she's bad at sneaking because she's a Robin.
I know. And the first 20 minutes, all the Robin wants and all the mice want is a crumb. They just want some crumbs. They dream of a sandwich, but they'll take whatever they get. They'll take the crumbs, but they can't get them. They can't get them, everybody. They can't get them.
And Robin keeps messing it up.
I know.
And keeps failing, or think that she's failing, until she embraces who she is and does it the way that she does it best. What's
amazing about your job and your business anyway, Gillian? When it's movies or mega series, the like of which you've been involved in many, many times and will be forever, is what you can achieve, in an hour or in 90 minutes. And what Aardman have done, the journey they take you on in 30 minutes. It's so clever, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's really true, and also through song. You wouldn't. I mean, I think this is Aardman's first musical, and certainly my first musical, which I think is evident. But I didn't actually realise that there was a song that I was to sing until I arrived in the chair ready to work, and they said we're going to work for a little bit on the text, and then we're going to do a couple hours on the song. And I said, wait, what? What song? Anyway, so I kind of speaker song in a way.
Yeah, but that happens a lot
they're
in
so
musicals.
wonderfully written, and the music is so catchy, and I think kids are going to love it.
And when you get a call from Aardman, via agent or however it came in, is it a whole body yes? Is it a hell yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a hell yeah. Yeah, it's a very different way of doing things. I mean, as an actor, you learn, over the years how to use your eyes and different parts of your body and expressions, etc. And when you're doing voice acting, you don't get to rely on any of that. It all has to be siphoned through the voice. And so it's actually much more challenging than you'd imagine it would be, maybe, because I find it challenging. There are some voice actors who are just, real voice actors are amazing at it. And people like me have to work really hard to try.
No, come on, you're brilliant.
Seriously. They can say, we want you to do it like this, and you try like 25 times until you get it right, because there's something so specific, because they're only just focusing on the very specific, because all you've got is a voice. You can't rely on the nose twitch or something going on behind the eyes. So anyway,
and you can't rely on your experience with cats because you don't like cats, or you're allergic to cats or something.
I am allergic. Yes, I can't. But apparently, I'm a good purrer. I didn't realise that. Well, I kind of knew that, but I never actually shared it with anybody. But apparently, I know how to purr. But I don't know where that came from.
How did you approach the purr?
Well, just I started purring, and then they said, "Oh, you do know how to purr," and I said, "I guess I do know how to purr." Okay.
Now I've been fortunate to witness the purr. Other people can on Netflix from tomorrow. Could you give them a preview of the purr? See, that is a good purr.
It's a bit evil, though. It's a bit that was a bit. It might have had a bit too much phlegm in it.
It's very method. Yeah. It's very early morning. It's very sort of 9:15.
That was an early morning purr. Yeah, that was a pre-coffee purr.
Does your purr peak in the day? Does it have a sort of peak?
I'll let you know.
Right.
I'll call in later and I'll let you know whether my purr has peaked.
You're so lovely, Gillian. Now, you've done it before, though. You have done it before. You've been in other amazing
Miyazaki animation.
Miyazaki films,
I love Miyazaki films, yeah. Like Totoro and, Spirited Away and etc. I wasn't in that. I was in Princess Mononoke. As another furry animal, I was the wolf goddess.
See,
a wolf goddess that had actually previously been played by a man who had transitioned into a woman, and so I had a very deep voice. And I showed up to the animation studio trying to emulate what the Japanese actor had done, trying to deepen my voice to try and get it and it just was not that. It was never going to be that.
Gillian, whenever you're on the show and whenever you're in anything, and now on something as well as a voiceover artist or a voice artist, you always seem, you give it 110%. You give it all the beans. You immerse yourself in it, and then when you come and talk about things, you do it with such sort of understated passion. Have you always loved your job, and how are you with your job now compared to how you've been before? Do you love it more than ever because of?
Oh, that's interesting. That's very kind of you to say. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I don't like it. I mean, sometimes I find it, I yell at it because it's really hard. And sometimes I'm very grateful. And I just did something in the States where I played Eleanor Roosevelt for 3 months. And it's probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And as enjoyable as it was, I always think, I don't know. All I can do is just throw myself into it. That's all I can do is give my version of, as you say, 110%. But at the end of the day, it still could, people, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't, the only thing that I have control of is what I put into it at the moment that I'm there. After that, it's completely out of my hands. And so even if I feel like, even with Thatcher, as long as I felt within myself that I had done my absolute best, I then had to let go of what other people's opinions, because some people hated it and some people loved it, and that has to become none of my business, because all I know is that I did the best that I could do.
This morning we've been getting texts, and we get lots of these about people having big special days today, going for interviews, or something special's going on in their personal life, at home, with a loved one, with loved ones, especially considering what's happened in the last 18 months. And we had a text in today from a lady who's she's becoming the first woman chair of this really important thing in her business to do with catering, and she's preparing for a speech, and that's all very exciting. I'm sure she'll nail it. But sometimes when we have something important to do, and our life isn't what we want it to be, outside of what it is we have to do important, and we have to leave all that at the door. I mean, this must happen to you all the time because it's what you do for a living. Can you give us any advice on how to leave life at the door and just focus on what we need to do in the moment and give our absolute best?
I'll tell you something. I grew up in front of the camera. When I got the X-Files, I was 24 years old, and when I was 25 or maybe 26, I had a baby. And I had a baby at the same time that I was doing this crazy show that I was working 17-hour days on, and I had to find a way to be 100% mum when I was in the trailer, in the 12 and a half minutes that I had in the trailer while they were setting up the cameras, and then go onto set and 100% be there. And I think just the doing of that trained me to know how to compartmentalize and show up where I needed to show up and let go of, and so I think I had a very steep learning curve there. But one thing that it did teach me is that if I panic it's either very easy to panic when I'm thinking about 100 things and all the things that have to happen this week. And as long as I'm just thinking about what I have to do right now, I can say to myself, I'm not going to think about that other thing until tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. I'll actually put it into my diary on my phone that I won't think about that until then. I won't think about that until Thursday. I won't think about that until Friday. And then I just don't. It's a discipline that I've had to work on, because I know in myself that if I have all of those things in my head, I spin in circles and I start to panic, and I'm useless to anybody, let alone myself. So that's kind of how I do it. It's a bit more technical and needs a smartphone but there are other versions of it.
Or a journal, of course.
Or a journal, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's how I do it.
Keep the main thing in the moment.
Keep the main thing, and just keep it in the day. Keep it in the day.
I've never heard that before. I'm adding that to my bedroom wall. Keep the main thing, and keep it in the day, said Gillian on the show with me this morning.
I'm sure I'm not the first person that said that.
No, I've never heard keep it in the day. I've never heard that before.
Right.
I'll take that. Gillian,
take that.
Lovely work from you and your pals in Robin, Aardman Animation's brand new Robin. It's gorgeous. It's Aardman's first musical. It's a mini musical that's half an hour. It's absolutely stunning. Available tomorrow on Netflix via Sky Q, and Gillian stars in The First Lady. Coming to us next year, Gillian, the First Lady?
Yeah, yes, next year in the spring.
Oh, she was on her way. She was off then. She was
what?
It sounded like you're off then, halfway out the door.
Sorry. Yeah, I kind of was.
I know.
But don't take it personally.
I could tell. No, I won't. I'll keep the main thing, and I'm going to keep it in the day. Gillian, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much. A pleasure, always.
You're awesome.